Really do like this Breeze. They like to play aggressive. They like to catch you off guard. Very loosey-goosey.
I think the strong suit for GenG in their last match was how disruptive they were in their post-plants, fighting forward, not letting Sentinels play the set structured retakes that they love to play. Sentinels, honestly, I feel like have a chance to kind of get dragged down into the chaos here by GenG with this comp. It's going to be tough for them to take home Breeze though.
Well, this is it. It's now time for the Madrid Grand Final. And let's go ahead and send it over to your casters. It's your boys, Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much. Let's get this one started in the Madrid arena. What a stage that's been set up, man. The scintillating SEN City trying to pave that road for a bit of redemption, but they got the pride of Pacific on the other side and a hell of an advantage waiting for them. That double map ban looks brutal to try and get through.
And it starts off here on Breeze. A rematch of our upper bracket finals. And this was the decider. Instead of to close, it's now to open. Side swap though. So what can SEN learn? They barely played any defense the last times that these two teams clashed, but there is footage out there. And another thing to note, Bren, GenG won all 6 pistols last time they played. That's an almost insurmountable advantage.
Something that's got to be turned around if you are Sentinels heading into these series. They've mentioned that they're putting a lot of focus on themselves, not too much on the counter-stratting. I think that might be wise as well. Breeze is going to be a map that really comes down to a bit of form factor. Can you hit your shots? Can you try and take down the big dogs that is GenG? Because they got some heavy hitters. Munchkin now setting up for the wall. Looks like a bit of an A split.
Going straight into John QD's setup.
John QT just crouched behind this one, still flash. Molly coming through, Trip as well, and down to play in order. There it is, deleted him. Trip kill. Never seen that one before, at least on the big stage. Here it is though, it slowed down GenG to a crawl. Lakia in through the back of the site though, and there's the response, the return of firepower. Zelsis left to pick up those pieces, but already a site has been gained and granted. Shock dart kills, 2 versus 2.
And now, as GenG have to return to grab this spike, Zeken's gone to make the play, wrapping all the way around. He's got a Sheriff favored for long-range fights. And that shock not quite as successful as the prior. Sassy's been locked out and has given away his position, and Caron, new to the big stage, so aware, but he's missed the timing.
Just barely. From ranked to rookie to tier 1 stage to the chance to lift the trophy, Caron looking like he might take that first contact dart. Supportive util, Sassy finding it difficult to really get himself into the position. Second, walking wide, now the dart finally ready, clearing it. At least onto one position here, but time's starting to work and tick against the face from all of them. On top now, Sassy versus Lakia! And they're all players against one another. It's Lakia who cleans it up for the pistol.
And another one of those pistol rounds going the way of GenG. The individual skill on this team is so high. Even after you see this ridiculous opener for John QD, clearly anticipating an A-split from coming through, Sentinels simply couldn't capitalize on it. Lakia, one of those players with a lot of focus on him, was there to open up global events in Valorant. And is here now at our most recent, looking in incredible form.
Looking like he wants to have that second shot of revenge. I mean, he's already got it the first time in the upper bracket. Now a chance to really knock them down and deep. Now there's a flash play here with a util. Kills happening on multiple sections here with Mita falling down.
Push down holes.
Yeah.
Push down holes.
Trying to squeeze them now with the drone close quarters. Combat might be in order, but again, that's that long sight line, and team's finally coming through with the right clicks. Finally, left clicks getting it done. Shock dart's pulled out, maybe a bit frantic in terms of that approach. Sassy getting ahead of himself. Zelsis doesn't choose to peek his cranium out wide. Still going to be playing his life now.
It feels a little bit like a comm was missed there because the spike was dropped, and yet Tenz is going for a repush elbow, almost anticipating that GenG would pick the timing to rotate, but they had to recover that spike and had to be cautious doing so. Has Tenz read this play perfectly though. Guardian in hand, and the rest of GenG are coming towards him.
Can this be something here? And he's going to be hearing it. Again, the rumble of the footsteps. He tries to take the timing just before anybody was set up for it. And they run him down. All grouped up now. 3 players. Munchkin taking that forward angle. And what could have been a possibility now is just looking just more unlikely.
Zelsis with the Outlaw. Everybody dies in a single shot, but it's a 1v3.
He's already been spotted out. Beautiful work from the IGL. So 3 players surviving, making it nice and clean here for GenG off the back of that pistol round. A map that, again, have to iterate here that they are favoured in this situation. They've already played SEN on this map here. They absolutely trounced them.
That was a dismantling. One that had Dappling claiming full responsibility for the choice to end up here. Had no choice whatsoever when it came to the grand finals, with GenG having that double map back. Heading into the bonus round. Meteor not too far away from being able to get close to his Yoru ult, which is super effective to be able to get into these sites. Even the information alone, little jump up, Zekken.
Yeah, he's pushed up deep here. Not too much to support him, not too much to trade him, but he sees it, hears it, and there's the kill. Collected onto Munchkin, but it's offset. Immediately onto the other side of the map. No fast pace increase here from GenG. Happy to just play for that pick, play for the orb, and now slow it down once more.
And not prioritizing the orb on Meteor, as I suspected they might, to try to get the dimensional drift online. Instead, just going for texture. And SEN have been picking these kind of timings in the first 2 rounds to go for little explorations to see if they can get some more info. Instead, though, Zekken and Zellsis doubling up over towards A, anticipating that this would be a re-hit, just confident that John could hold down the other side.
Just that, though, massive map control that's been lost here for Sentinels. You can feel it just positioning Assassi. He's having to watch Halls in case that lurk comes through with 40 seconds left. GenG now fully grouped up. Starting to hit into this side that John QT is going to be sitting side by with his rifle. Might have to try and put a stop to this one, but it's difficult. Well, the adversaries are trying to overcome here. Still not showing his hand. Dart, potential there to set that one up, but finally a few shots fired and Rattle Texture's been creeping and crawling up onto the angle. Finally there and releases it. The trigger straight to the dome there. Sassy dropping into the back of the site. 2 left standing here for Sentinels. Disadvantaged position. Gotta watch that one though. ADS second. And that's 8 seconds left. A round-winning play perhaps, but now a safe plan position for Meteor. Tucked right behind the pillar. We'll be able to get the extension into the round, but can he survive the 1v2? Already through and second. Nasty work there.
Zekken got shut down completely in the upper bracket final when these 2 teams played against each other. But you can't keep Zekken down for long. What we saw him do to PaperX, he tore them to pieces. 3 out of 4 of the maps, he was clearly the best player in the server. Dominating not just on Raze, as he has been doing all year, but also finding his form and his footing on Jet, especially with rifle in hand. The timing on the Cloudburst dropping, just giving him the perfect moment to deny the plant. And grabbing 2 on the back of it as well. Enormous play, and also demonstrating once more, Bren, that SEN are looking to play this defense aggressively. Not at the beginning of the round, not trying to force the fight, but looking for those mid-round timings to soak up a flank or a bit more info. And Zekken is going to be crucial to that.
It's a good adjustment as well, something to just upset those timings. But GenG, they play pretty close together.
Look at this. Drone into elbow really makes it feel like Zekken could be pushing behind this. So everybody on GenG scared. Instead, the double push coming down halls. Great distraction play from Sassy.
Meteor, though, potentially getting some of that information over towards the one side with a nice Blade Storm. Running them through, and the IGL dropped. But now a scurry and scatter. Everybody running over towards that A site, seeing if they can at least reinforce Meteor's position. He's going to be tucked close.
Can they get a double face going with Zekken updrafting? Instead, just choosing to face it.
TP with a gate crash, not going to be baited out from that one still. Lackey is also getting a move on through Halls. Could be that late lurk play in that position. Meteor going to be cleaned up there with the trade still. A tap. No one forced out wide. Lackey, though, gaining that kill and closing the door in front of him. Neural theft. Giving the info. Texture. Now the emphasis placed on him. A dash to the side here, but a pull on line, not half. Onto the spike. Could be a big difference maker. Could be a massive one, in fact. GenG have got them surrounded on almost every single front right now, picking them apart, the threads unraveling. Leave it to just John QT, but again, the time ticking away. It's just far too late for it. GenG find themselves up nice and easy onto that 3rd.
John not even able to secure the rifle, which could have made a huge difference for Sentinel's economy. If he had been able to keep it, perhaps they would have still been able to buy into the next. I love the play at the beginning of the round from SEN. I think it's really smart. Fake like Zekken's pushing in one direction, get the pick over towards Halls. But they also just allowed Meteor to run in with his ult and get the plant down. And he essentially did that just all on his own.
Yeah.
And once you're in an afterplant situation and GenG are walking all over the space, it's much more difficult to clean up. And SEN's retake protocols do not look as good here as on some of their other maps.
Definitely tell it's a map that's just been, you know, less honed over time. Sentinels just missing a jump there. I mean, a deep dart, I believe, broken early, so Zekken didn't want to take the peak timing. So just holding down towards elbow for GenG again. Happy to play this one nice and slowly.
I believe Texture's positioning, he would have heard John Cutie use the aggressive cam over towards B. That info may well get relayed to the rest of the team. Yeah, you can see it being pinged out here, actually, on the mini-map. And so they're expecting the stack to be over towards mid and A.
Incredibly deep positioning here. Hunter's Fury going to be offloaded from this particular position. That's Lakia returning it, so you can get a kill, but only to one tag, spotting out the positioning of Zelsis. Interesting usage of the ult, but with 50 seconds left now, starting to make their way, meander over towards that B side. Cosmic Divide will cut this one up nicely.
Ball aimed for where John Cutie has been anchoring in previous rounds. And this composition has so many different ways of getting into B. The Jet and the Yoru, very difficult to deny, especially when you have so many smokes online. That pit did not cover the spike.
Oh, and a lot of respect as well being showcased as well to a weaker buy of Sentinels, but Zekken, see what damage he can do here. Still with the rifle in his hand. They found the first one, but again, a lot to get through. It's murky territory, a blight onto the B site with that pit, but they really wrangled control of this one. They found Charon, but again, Munchkin's the player that needs to fall to really stand a chance into this one. Yes, it doesn't cover it. Texture alive and kicking, working his way around, but he's being found. Sassy drops him, and one player left to stand is Lakia, crouched, cowering, fear in his heart. He cannot face them. A thrifty win for Sentinels.
That is a bizarre one to start us off with. With a pit being invested as well, you think GenG have just got that wrapped up. It's a gorgeous flash recon play that catches Meteor, but then there's just a lot of timing plays all around the spot.
No way.
All of these GenG players dying whilst looking the other way. Not being able to use the eco advantage that they had, and actually the pit there ended up hurting them. Not something that's that replicable, but certainly one that SEN can take to the bank.
They will be moving forwards now, plenty of money left waiting. A lot of equipment comes with it, full weaponry. Zekken, so damn aggressive. Now, seems to have an inkling that maybe Charon's there, possibly from a cam aggressively getting broken.
Yeah, for sure. John Cutie's cam got broken in that spot. Now he knows where Charon basically is. The rest of GenG working their way up mid. One of the things that SEN said in their press conference was it was difficult playing against GenG, hard to isolate your ones when they travel around in such a pack. But GenG are running a 1-3-1 default here. Smoking it up, looking to take a little bit of mid. But TenZ has gone walking all the way down halls here, getting good info for his team.
That's fantastic info. He's going to be hearing the scurry of the footsteps from Munchkin, maybe even seeking to punish, but he's going to be calling this now for his team. Look at this.
Sassy starts to go.
Yeah, good maneuvers all around the map. Can really follow those sound cues and follow them well straight towards the B side, but it's going to be setting up for that B split. Out through tunnel.
TenZ has got to be careful here not to overflank. He just needs to play to contain. He grabs one,
two. And the heads will roll before that space gains. And guess what? GenG just sent rattling now all the way. The movement looking clean with it. Texture's got something to say. Still, only one blade left. Rest of them finding into the back wall, but there's the refresh and shut down. Traded time. Really, really quite low. Only 11 seconds left. It's going to be barely able to get onto the side, but Charon has to clear a little bit. He might just have some time spare, barely a second. And yes, we'll be able to get it here, but Sentinel surely don't let this one slip. A 1v3.
Charon, though, is going to be able to reposition slightly, and TenZ is weak.
Really weak. He's got so wide. Zelsis needs to be ready. Charon! The movement impeccable, the aim on top. And he's brought it to a 1v1. And yes, damage has been done, but this guy, ranked to superstardom all the way on the grand stage, he does not seem phased at all. Zekken to face him now. Again, slow walking onto the angle. The noise and information just being cut away entirely. It could just come down to chance. Cloudburst straight up into the air. Zekken diffusing. Drops down. Taken at one! Charon! A menace to him! The scourge of Sentinels rips away the chances of that round.
That's an absolutely monstrous, heartbreaking 1v3. And the aim and the precision is pretty natural. It's just, you do not see that. With a Phantom at long range, on Breeze, ripping off heads. Yes, the timing on the trade is not perfect. It's not a double swing from SEN, but they don't expect the guy to be holding that and winning that.
Karen is just that guy. I mean, he just seems unshaken throughout this entire tournament, throughout all of kickoff. Doesn't matter the obstacles that you've thrown at the guy. The entire team as well just been persevering. Sassy is gonna have a hell of a lot to deal with here. Drone gets all the info he's looking for, possibly seeing multiple targets. Now the Hunter's Fury of his own. That is gonna be let rip, and look at the targets! They just cleave right through them.
What a perfect counter to what GenG were going for. Immaculate stuff from SEN. And still throughout all of this, they're looking to go aggressive in other places. TenZ has gotten deep. He's going to be able to hear rotations. I think that's such a pivotal part of SEN playing in this finals. GenG love to rotate around the map on their attack side and their defense side, getting people into good positions like that for info. Impeccable.
Seems like a clear game plan, just disrespecting them.
But also Sassy, really, the playmaker there.
Of course.
I thought he was going to get overwhelmed. You saw him get the tag onto Meteor, and I thought that SEN were going to get baited into the fact that there was only one there. Clearly, a better read than it appeared. That Hunter's Fury obliterated them.
A few layers too. I mean, Celsius, the bodyguard, playing inside the smoke, making sure
30
that
seconds
there
left.
was no punish in sight when Sassy was ulting.
Yeah. It's very solid stuff. And GenG are just going to go for a save here after Caron got them a 1v3 to start their economy flourishing. SEN making sure it dampens just slightly. I don't know whether they saw Zekken's operator this round. They didn't really interact with it very much because he went for the peak double doors at the beginning. I have a feeling that GenG don't know that this is online. You can see he hasn't even shot a bullet. So that could certainly be another twist in the tail as we head into the next.
They're not revealing the hand that they have purchased that one. They might be able to check the money, at least in the follow-up now into this round, but yeah, here's that play before as well. I mean,
it's so lovely.
Vulnerability as well.
Yeah, especially with Celsius throwing the snake by.
Real nice.
Zekken is going to be here to try to receive this hit if it comes through A.
He's taking a gander through double doors, at least looking like he wants to. Wall.
I feel like this is going to be so difficult when Meteor has his Yoruba online.
5 tags though. 2 found. Deep control of mid. Now Caron is playing a really far back position here. Just seeking to contain. Oh my god. Against the wall. Could just be walking straight into it. Shot missed though. It's a jiggle. And guess what? The entirety of the site has been gained. Given up entirely here just from that dimensional drift. Out of it now. Meteor with the plant.
And this is
securing
brutal.
Of a texture.
This is brutal. You're going to end up having pulls on this. You've got people running, you know, Munchkin's got lineups that he can throw. Offsite post plants, buy time for post plant lurks to come through, and this is the game plan for GenG. SEN are not in a position to play this quickly. They have to clear so many areas and then put pressure so deep to punish Caron and Munchkin.
Already the lineup sailing across. Dart not quite broken. Reveal onto multitudes of targets. Again, this all causing issues, and it is too much to overcome, too much to clear. Ults are being rattled off here. Texture from the high ground, eventually traded, and now the flash, pop flash, round the corner. TenZ, it was all dodged. Meteor! Massive play. Zekken sticking inside the cage. Broken. Destroyed and dropped. GenG finding that 5th, but you're right, Josh. It all began just how long it took SEN to really get their ground, get started onto the retake.
Frankly, the push into main, I have no problems with. TenZ doing a great job, but how is Meteor turning this and still getting a double kill out of it? If you remember back to the defense side pistol that SEN ran on this map against GenG, they flash peeked Zekken in, Meteor dodged it, got the kill. I'm just getting flashbacks of that again. The GenG players are so skilled and have demonstrated that all year. You think you haven't dead to rights, you simply do not.
Slight edge being held now for GenG. Wow. Rounds have been oscillating wildly back and forth. Follows the trends. It's SEN's turn. GenG playing quite split up though. 2 players. Texture and Caron. A dynamic duo. Been making waves. See if they can do any damage. At least focusing on that. That was a potential reclear being called there by SEN, and it does just go even.
And no flash peek being used there, so that was just a dry double swing. 1 for 1. And Munchkin's wall not going to be available to them if they hit A, so that puts more pressure on Karan now. But he still has the ult to be able to work with, so not a major problem for GenG.
Aggressive TenZ is holding this angle. Not a far back position. He wants to hold them before they can even get themselves into the choke. Locking it down. Deep dart. Potential setup. Waiting for the sound cue. Doesn't get broken.
Yeah, I think if that dart had been broken, he was looking to flash peek in there and make the play to win the round. The time is getting so low. If they can play in front of the Cosmic Divide, Sassy goes down.
Edric's clean off, dart through into the back Cosmic Divide. Gives him the perfect exit strategy here. Pop flash through! But Texture, he was aware of it. Facing away, or at least dodging it. And any chances for Sentinels into this round crumbled once more before our eyes. Again, GenG in astounding control.
Commanding position there. Having lost the Viper early on, to still be able to deal with that A-main aggression and come out on top is pretty excellent. GenG, we're talking about the fact that their composition, honestly, they're happier with it on the attack side, or at least people expect them to do more on the attack side with this comp. And that was what blew us all away when SEN played against GenG last. Now we're really seeing how comfortable they are in these spots. It doesn't all have to be fast execs with the Jet and the Yoru. Celsius would love to keep the weaponry.
Oh, no way. Flash through.
He spotted Texture.
Plenty more players though. Texture spotted him. QT, last one left, slowly being hunted. We'll push back. The enemy's an adversary, so they do keep at least one gun into the round, but already you're looking at almost similar scenes here. Here's that opening when they try to re-clear out through.
An unbelievable shot onto Munchkin, but the trade's still coming through. The level of quality in terms of the rifling in this match is unbelievable. But we didn't get to see it in the upper bracket final between these two teams. SEN talked about, Kaplan in particular mentioned, the atmosphere was bad when they began that game, and they crumbled on split. It set the entirety of the series off on a bad note, and SEN, though they tried to recover it on Lotus, ended up going out in a flop. Now we are actually seeing Zek and TenZ hitting really nice shots, bringing it to the GenG players, making it more of a game that's about how they play the macro and how prepared GenG are rather than just running over them with the individualism.
Because that's the first step, right? To conquer GenG, you kind of just need to be matching them pound for pound with the aim.
And man, how difficult that is, because Texture, Meteor, Karan are all up there with the best players in the world right now. In terms of form, they might be like all three in the top 5. I don't know who else you would put up there, because you watch Texture, Meteor, or Karan in a 1v1 against anybody else in this tournament, you have to favor them.
Yeah, you do. I mean, they're just cerebral. The way they move, instinctual in nature, really. The way they tackle and handle a lot of those clutches, and just the aim and the movement on top of it. It's all there, perfect package for a lot of those players. So that is the first obstacle that SEN have to remove. Getting that confidence back, at least. Making moves now towards mid, though, here. Creeping once more and crawling.
It's a kill trip, but with no one really to play off it here.
More giving up, so Meteor once more building up towards Dimensional Drift. On his way through, he'll be able to clear out most of this side as well. Basically the human drone, just spotting out these traps. Kill trip lucky. Oh. Wait a second, John QT is there onto the angle in time. Gets the punish onto Lakia. Karan, the chance really for him to clean up, but no, the crosshair placement just wasn't expecting that one. The deep contact play and push out from Sentinels. One of the first times it feels like they're in a really advantageous situation.
Yeah, definitely. They're realizing the fact that Karan and Munchkin are going to be playing in very passive positions. They found them both. They even isolate Munchkin, who's so far away. And yes, this has taken a lot of time, but it's set them up in a great situation to win the round.
Chance of playing the lineups anymore for Munchkin. Meteor, Texture have to go absolutely massive, but he instantaneous there with the trade and shut down in time. So the Sentinels are willing to make it that repeat of what happened last time these two teams clashed here. That 4th one on the board, steadily, slowly but surely, chipping away, trying to make it at least even at the half.
Look how John gets at it. It's after the kill trip came through, but it's this re-push, not looking to try to go for the retake at all, fully waiting to try to flush out Karan and Munchkin before they ever go towards site. It's a great adaptation. It shows that they understand how GenG are playing the post plans. This is the kind of stuff that made Sentinel Split so scary. You know, we'll forget about the last 2 times we played it.
Yeah, I mean, they've had their confidence knocked there as well. tell that just from the way that the map veto ended up shaking out. Wasn't the first map that they ended up picking. Deep dive here, Texture want to take advantage of this one, but it's broken. Sassy using it. They did miss second. Hello, spots it. Up in the air. It's all about the reactions. Follow through there. Just a clone, but a shorty. Defending the area and teammates flooding back in. All to his avail. Munchkin, though, has managed to get himself a gap into the A site, but the spike has been dropped down into the center of the mid, and it's all down to the individual plays. You can see Kieron also thinking about the same thing here, and Munchkin. Little territory gain down into mid for SEN, but they need to keep their eye on almost every single angle here. And guess what? Plenty of backs facing away from them. Kieron, it's majestic! And just like that, turned away, ripped away. What should have been a slam dunk, SEN left looking in every possible direction, barely able to get it, but they do in the end.
Kieron with another one, another death blow, a dagger to the heart of SEN. Another round where SEN getting themselves into a hugely advantaged position, but because played this specific style of using second as bait and everybody flooding through from tunnel and double doors to try to help, they gave up the sights, and GenG are just too smart with it. They read it, they react so quickly and get into positions where their players can pull off magic like that. Final round, Zekken glass cannon operator. You're watching here as he tries to take contact.
Dodging that initial wave of utility. Won't be too many targets.
Now, once more, Brent. Sassy drones out through B main, making it feel like perhaps there's some level of aggression happening over there. They're trying to prompt the reactions out of GenG. But this team is so smart. They wait for a full commitment before they decide to do stuff like that. And Munchkin's the playmaker actually here, making his way all the way up through halls. It's not a full commitment on the A split just yet.
Not quite.
Trying to make a play or get some info.
He does like to take the initiative though. That player to watch for here, Meteor. Holding. KB's a util, potentially the flash there, I believe, in his hands, but thinking twice about it. And again, it's just pure silence. They're letting Sentinels stew, hoping that they make a mistake.
No real reaction though from SEN. They're not going to get baited into defensive aggression.
Now the drone at least should trigger that reaction with the knife down. Cancels it! Reactions there from Zekken. Repositions there with a dash, but might want another go. I think still with the door opened wide, he realizes it is back. He's open to two different directions, and he's really got to try and watch this one here, at least get some help from the rest of his team. GenG are moving into the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, they're going towards Zelsis, who's reinforced with John Cudy's utility.
The players haven't budged, snared into space. Zelsis hearing that one broken, now wants to take the fight to him. Out wide, onto the wall here, Kieron. He's worked and wiggled his way into the back of the side again. Back to it, reload! Oh my! 7 seconds left with the spike drop down. Sentinel surely a favourite, and yes, indeed they are. No chances here in the final round of this first half. Not for Munchkin. So maybe, gotta think it's a better look for Sentinels here on Breeze.
A much more competitive opening to this game on a map where most would write them off. GenG dominated this map when the sides were flipped last time we saw it. He had great awareness, dodged the drone, used the knife to cancel it, punished the player coming in. There was a trip there onto Texture. He had to kind of adjust in mid-air, and Zelsis caught him, plucked him out the air like a butterfly.
Absolutely insane stuff for the first half. Guess what? Plenty more left to go in Breeze. Let's send it down to the analyst desk to discuss everything so far.
Thank you so much. Wow, what a way to start things off. But let's just jump right into it. Our Verizon high-speed moment of the match came in the first half. We had multiple, as a matter of fact. It was kind of, you know, your choice, pick of the litter here, Hypoc, because Zekken, this kid's putting on a show today.
Yeah, I mean, just looks so clean time and time again in these high-pressure scenarios as well. Last alive here, like back against the wall to try and find a bailout round to really try and recover this. We're so used to seeing him now in this scenario.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous because this guy just turned 19 in his first international final. He had that birthday while he was here in Spain. And the journey for this guy has been long. When we first saw him internationally, he was only 17 years old, playing with Exit on stage. At the time I talked to, his parents were there with him, going along to Istanbul, but they've been with him the whole way. This is a picture from Americas of his grandma out with him, supporting in the crowd. He's a young guy, but he's had his family all the way behind him throughout his journey here in Valorant. And now he's at a point where he's in an international final and really in that discussion for best player in the world.
Yeah, what's so impressive here about Zekken is just not only does he carry himself like an absolute pro, but the man is just so meticulous in the server, Hypoc. But he's going to need to continue to output more if this team wants to get back into it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Josh was leaning on this in the cast as well. You've got people on the other side, Texture and Meteor to really overcome. Karen obviously being the clutch master on that controller role. Zekan's definitely going to have his hands full today if he wants to continue frontline versus this GenG roster.
GenG's post plans got them a great half here, but their comp also excels in the retakes. They have a lot of util to bully Sentinels out. GenG looking strong in this first map.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult here for Sentinels. And for GenG, hey, it ain't going to be a walk in the park either. I'm expecting some fireworks in this second half. Let's send it back over to Brennan Sideshow.
The pistol round is where it really needs to start here for Sentinels. I mean, we've already been highlighting the real importance of it. GenG winning, was it 6 out of 6 when they last played each other?
So now 7 out of 7. And heading into the 8th, Sen need to be able to get some of those online. And this is the half where we saw Sen have no success. Kaplan said that they came in with an anti-strat that they thought would work, but called it wishful thinking in hindsight.
Oh, wait, is Meteor just taking that fight straight up?
Good punish, though. A lot of damage. Yeah, it's not the kill, but they forced that back. Denied GenG a little bit of space. And now this drone's really going to make it feel like it's a commitment into B. Instead, the spike is going in the completely opposite direction. I think this is looking more like an A split where you rely on the fact that Zekan has holes control.
GenG, they do play to those sound cues. Oh my, just missing a chance and the timing there for Tens, but with the AWP now bloomed and blossomed, can start to get a move on onto the A side still. It's Karon. It's locked down into the corner position. Guess what, Zekan punishing the rotation! And 3 heads roll. Down and out here, Karon blinded as anything, cannot win his fight out. Zekan, they're chanting for it. You can feel it, the roar of the crowd behind him. And he knows what they want.
Ten spots him.
Munchkin spotted. Ow, wow!
Denied, but that is the first pistol that Sen have put on the board in the rivalry that's blossoming between these two teams. And what a fantastic attack side strat that is. So much better against GenG than what they were pulling out in the 3rd map of the upper bracket final. They call a fake, they use the advantage of having map control, they use holes against a team that has a solo initiator. It just ticks every single box to me. Learning from the failures of before.
Of how rotate heavy GenG play, I mean, maybe a bit of fakes and finesse might be just exactly what Sentinels ordered. Clearly doing that prep work here. Now the orbs can be farmed up, granted for them, without too much pushback. Of course, got to be aware there's always a chance that they could fight back.
There's a slight bit of danger in this round, Bren, because Meteor managed timing the recon dart that Sassy threw into mid, I believe. So they have no idea that Meteor is positioned this deep, but no one on Sen looks like they want to get into that area at all. Sen running a default looking a little more like when Loud played against GenG, not going for the early round group ups in A main, but happily now grouping up together to make sure that they can trade out the lower eco players. And like I said, I don't think they realize that Meteor is this deep.
Meteor going for walkabouts as a face early on. John surely hearing this one now, facing him, but it's too much to overcome there. Meteor with that Sheriff, and again, a bit of stray damage through Tens. Let's try and at least lock this one down into the side of the...
He missed it!
Oh, but they have found him. Right-click bundle diff, apparently so. 3 players still left to stand here for Meteor. Find that one, maybe could be a chance, but it does go down in the end. Traded with the nade, flushed out wide, and found in the end. There it is.
It is a conversion for Sen. It looked a little difficult to be able to get across the line. It's always going to be tough when GenG have smokes that you have to play around. They're flashing into the smoke here to blind Karon. Clearly they have a good understanding of how Karon's going to be playing. I think one of the key antis that they came into the last time on Breeze was that knifing Karon so that he can't use pulls. They thought that would give them easy access to the A site. In fact, GenG have way more layers to it than that, but you can start to see Sen looking to break them down. And now coming into a bonus round. Do we have another great strategy called here by the brain trust of John and Kaplan? And Drew as well. I should give credit to my kilt-wearing neighbor from the north.
You certainly should, yeah. Takes a village, after all. It has been evened up in terms of that scoreline, 7-2-7, and like you said, the bonus round is where Sentinels look to see if they can get over that hurdle here. Texture. Toast. Okay. Not going to be able to play anti towards that one, and everybody playing inside this cloud burst, not expecting him. He bounces up. Already just locks that one down. These Sentinel players are left scrambling and wondering exactly where these players are coming from. Texture now with the dash. Smoke to play in 4-10s here, but how do you really overcome this? You just can't. It's just raw mechanical prowess on display. And an easy one is what it feels like here for GenG, overcoming all sorts of obstacles that were thrown at them.
And I think that's an example of what was going wrong for SEN last time. GenG are just so good when it comes to defending the standard hits. And this is a very standard A split that Sentinels send in. GenG's crossfires are amazing. Karen can always play around Pyramid because he has smokes to dip and dive inside of. And then you have Lakia up towards stairs, Texture in that gutter. They've always got triangles going on that are extraordinarily difficult to break. The weakness with GenG's defense is to do with Lakia and him being overstretched, having to run around halls,
jump spot
nest.
heard. Real opportunity for Zekken to get that punishment. You are right, it is that weakness. That's why they have to put bodies into it, but now a double walk up and face. Zekken, got to be ready for this one here. Is it going to be clear? It's an off angle. Lakia in the crosshair, precisely on exactly where it needed to be.
Yeah, great reclear. GenG are going to go for those occasionally because that is the weakness of their composition and they need to make sure that they have info in that area of the map. Meteor going for an info peek when they're up 5v4.
Everybody's got their backs turned to every possible position. Texture, though, seems to be more aware of it than he is. Shuts down John QT. Sassy out in the open. Done into the back of the site, and it is traded and cleaned up by 10 still. Only 2 to left stand here for Sentinels. They will get control of the B side and the plan online. Even more so to try and overcome Texture, Lakia and Caron taking their time with it.
They know that Zelsis does not have the orb on the spike. They can see that over towards mid. So he's probably not playing post plants, probably on site with 10s.
All up. Reclear. Just feeling unsafe, but they do take control of main once more. They can play this post plant from this position still. Smokes are available. Black, is Caron. Puts that one up, but a kill found still. It's down to just 10s.
He's got to do it all.
Does have a nade, but still he's got to deal with this. And what a play to make. Texture so damn aware, but there's the shot still. Will the nade land in time? Lakia's sticking. Spam, damage! He's just about got it! Unbelievable from 10s.
That is cold! That split-second decision to pull out the fragment grenade and make sure that you have additional damage. What a 1v3!
That's on a knife's edge though, isn't it? Look at it.
One enemy remaining.
But my God, look at it slow down.
Oh, very, very close. He's drawn the game back 8-8, where SEN actually have the economy advantage, putting together much better rounds, using more of the map. And GenG, even though they're finding advantages, letting that one slip away. This time, Munchkin going wandering, tucking underneath where John Cuty's playing. This is always a dangerous spot. It's obviously a risk. If the player on window checks, you're just 100% dead. But taking a risk on a round like this where you have lower economy is absolutely worthwhile.
Oh yeah, the time to do it.
And of course, he will be able to hear rotates if they go heavy towards B. And he'll hear them early enough to call those defensive positions.
Back here with the Bucky. I think he's going to be going for a peek here. Still wants to hold that close angle. The dart broken, it's going to be pulling players actually. Reaction out of GenG, thinking that, okay, well, his presence there, but now the drone adds another level to it. A bit of confusion into the camp for GenG, wondering where the hell are these players landing with only 40 seconds left. Time could start to become a problem, but Texture, he was the real danger in this round, at least with those knives, and with him shut down, now it opens wide, but Munchkin immediately there. No command sent flying, Bucky gaming! Lakia dropping 10 straight down to it. Removes him from the fight, A-main control. Granted and gained, tucks it up and doubles up. Now with the drone over, an attempt to punish Caron, running and gunning. Zelsis time, 12 seconds left. He needs to find this kill, but the rifle has been handed over, and so is the spike. John QT, head on a swivel. Too much to deal with, too much to overcome, and surrounded, man, surrounded.
That's the value of GenG taking risks. I'm telling you, Munchkin tucking into that spot. You won't see him do it often on a rifle round, But what a timing to do it, and Lakia, he gets the perfect glimpse of TenZ right before that. But also, they had no idea that Caron had already pushed down through halls and was in this position. TenZ's comment that there's only one person in A main there for sure, because they just had no clue that the Astra was also ready, holding Lakia's back during the drone. And just like that, all of TenZ's good work in the 1v3 undone in a moment.
Right back at it with the economical disadvantage.
And from watching GenG, they love using Meteor's ult to help them defend sites. It might seem weird using the Aura ult. That means there's another player that can't.
Hello.
Huge pick.
Against his adversary as well, the Nemesis on the other side of things. A clear win con is that Zekken can shut down Texture as a player. It's a fast reaction going to be called here with a neural theft, gives him a lot of information. Hunter's Fury, Sassy's hoping that he can at least set this one up. Meteor, out wide here with a dimensional drift. He was hoping for a chance to really get that punish onto Sassy, but it's all cancelled in time, and now the rest of his team flooding in. Munchkin spots it, just the shoulder, and finally the kill. Straight to the dome, a wider peak indeed, but it's going to be face down and sprayed through entirely. TenZ finally deals with him. The pesky intruder to a site that should have been theirs. And Lakia is out wide, firing that util. A pull already going to be used and utilized. The 3 players left standing now for GenG. Meteor already in position. A 1v2 for Zelsis. Doesn't know where they are. Wall up, reposition spots. Caron, splash. Blinded himself. Caron with the follow-up.
GenG bailing themselves out of a rough spot there. But I think one of the key problems is that when Sentinels got in position to try to hit the B site, I believe Zekken's waiting for another piece of utility there. He's just delaying, waiting to peek at the right time and sets up Munchkin for the triple kill. If they had been able to move a little faster and had that set up a little quicker, Munchkin probably ends up just going something like 1-for-1. SEN are in a much better spot. Nevertheless, that was an eco round for them. We come in, 8-10. Rifles again online. And SEN on an eco swing round with big ults for GenG.
Massive ults. So far this map, I mean, it's just been a tenuous tightrope walk, hasn't it? Either side, just Thrifty's making it nice and even, potential chance, but overall GenG just holding that edge.
They saw Lakia droning through double doors there, so they should have an idea that there aren't too many players halls unless it's being pushed. But that's not where Sentinels are going. Looking instead to dominate mid and set up this line. Caron is sometimes going to peek that, but it doesn't look like this round.
Textures planted himself onto the half wall. He's locking directly down into the tunnel angle.
Can they cause a distraction in B main that pushes people into Zekken's crosshair?
Oh, Zekken. It's all about the reactions, but Texture, of course, he's favoured. On LAN, already in position. It's all on Zekken. Zelsis seeking to just sow that chaos and discord into the map, at least with the pit laid down. GenG feel it really imperative to try and clear this one, but they're already just losing players. Sentinels toppling like flies. TenZ, he has worked his way deep. Gate crash now into the back of the site, so Meteor's going to be rejoining his team, and they have reinforced that area with 20 seconds left. What is the call? Jumping away and on high, but still they're surrounded with this pit. How did they even get themselves into the site? It's 12 seconds time working against them again. Lakia to play, to do the most. Spoiler, there it is. Finally spraying them through with 5 seconds down. No chance of sticking. I don't believe there's any time. And even if there was, Lakia could have absolutely sealed it up anyway. Beautiful work from GenG.
And that round should be the first nail in the coffin here for map 1. They're going to push Sentinel's economy down into a really rough spot again. And Texture opening things up. It just looks so simple from his point of view. All of these GenG players, they're so skilled, they make it look easy. It certainly isn't. Almost every other team has struggled to deal with Sentinels. GenG are wiping them out. This is a map where they're favored. And sure, it's closer than it was last time. But it's remarkable as SEN take a timeout, what GenG have done with this squad. Yeah. This is not like SEN, where it's big, heavy hitters returning to the stage looking for redemption. GenG, this is a new roster. Sure, some people have been here before, but others brand new to a stage like this. And GenG are on a 9-match win streak, beating out DRX, becoming the top Korean team, beating PaperX, becoming the top Pacific team, and then beating every other team in Madrid playoffs. to find themselves here with map V2 advantage in the grand finals, 2 rounds away from locking up map 1. To say the pressure doesn't faze them, I think would be an understatement. They look elated on stage.
Just having fun. They're happy to be here, absorbing it all up. And yeah, I mean, listen, the pressure probably would have gotten to some of these players a little bit ahead of time when they're playing against the top, at the time, Korean team. That was DRX, even in just the kickoffs. I mean, GenG, this is a squad that was put together and really a tremendous amount of doubters. But they have slowly but surely knocked down every single obstacle they faced and more.
And now the pressure is on SEN's side. They've taken this tactical timeout, and it's going to be for this round. This is them forcing up, trying to stop GenG from getting to 12. Little jump peek there in case Texture was on the angle.
Deep knife. Cage to cover their cross as well, looking to try and split themselves into B. Now there are players here, great dash forwards with that flash. It's all combined and calculated. Munchkin layers it down now with the pits. Dropping down in this position. He's already found Zelters. Where's the follow-up? Where's the follow-through? It's not there. Keron, the supportive util, the smoke to just prop it up and divide up the entirety of the site. And now a tasty morsel has been claimed with the spike drop down. The advantage again, rolling its way to GenG. It's Sentinels that are forced to react.
Unbelievable play from Munchkin. How he's got the awareness and the composure to do that boggles the mind.
Here.
This is an almost impossible spot that Zekken and John find themselves in.
GenG are not giving him anything. Diligence off the charts here.
No crumbs.
Slight jiggles onto the angle, never overextending. 30 seconds remaining.
Left.
Texture. Stray shot fired here, potentially just catching a glimpse. And wide again, John QT, that was his only chance, but
there goes the op.
Is there, op down, still 18 left, and they have to deal with Munchkin. Smoke down, grabbed and out, dash forward, but Munchkin again, they weren't expecting it right from behind. It's the IGL who ace. And where credit is due for this guy. Munchkin, one of the players with the most international experience. He's been to these events before, but guess what? On a completely different team. And this runs he's ever been. 9th to 10.
And now finding himself pushing up with an ace to get to map point in the first of the grand finals. And not just any old ace, not an eco ace, in an incredibly important round under so much pressure, pitting, running towards his opponents, making a mockery of them. SEN have to force up again, but it's odds and ends. It's not looking strong.
It's scraps, man. Pure scraps.
Take flight.
Gonna have to drag it into that territory to stand a chance in this round against GenG.
And I think they've found the most success when they've tried to find people, push people into aggressive positions, but that's almost impossible to feel good about lurking and then taking a 1v1 if your player has, you know, a bulldog or a stinger even.
Yeah.
You just don't feel favored.
Contacting as well into these angles with Texture, opping. It's apparent, it's known. Puts that little bit of fear, that little bit of doubt into the back of your minds. John QT, it's all about the corners being cleared, and guess what? Doesn't look like he wants to open himself up to it.
He's not thinking about it.
Not thinking about it at all. Lakia, punishment is there in place, over the top with the knives, dodging, dashing, and away, but one blade left. And the Zekken needs that rejuvenation, he's got it, but instantly again, Keron, the trade is there. Fundamentals off the bloody chart for GenG, and this is it, surely, with the map pushed into the positions, already there. Clone revealed the position, flash through into the box, Sassy's out, wide and alone. Scared for his life, too much to deal with, indeed. GenG lead the charge here in our grand finals of Madrid, taking map 1.
Looking calm and collected doing it too. It could be a long series, but GenG are going to try and wrap it up as quickly as possible. They had the double map bans, they got to pick the first, and they've set the tempo. Certainly closer than last time, but as soon as GenG got onto the defense side, it looked like some of the same difficulties again.
Absolutely, plenty of questions up in the air as well. Bind is up next. GenG haven't played it at all so far at this tournament. What are they going to be coming out with here in our grand finals?